coverage. If you're not in Florida, if you are in Florida, God bless you, and we hope that everybody's okay and you're safe and you have the supplies you need. This will pass. It's going to take longer than usual, but it will pass. But if you're watching this from somewhere else, just imagine, put yourself in the place of these families that are down here, and we'll see what their needs are afterwards. But this is something that they're going to remember for a really long time. And hopefully there is a measure, I hope, of gross inaccuracy in terms of what the net effect of this storm will be. I hope that it is more drama than it is impact, and that the places that have been touched from the Caribbean now up into Florida and what happens in states northwest and a little bit east of here winds up being less than we expect. But for now, that big part has passed. There's been a little bit of an alleviation. It's gusting that way now, but it's not as sustained as it was. There was about 5 minutes there where it just wasn't letting up. And the good news is, this one big patch of trees that I've been watching here that I was really worried about going in to the apartment building across, it hasn't happened. Now, I know Chad Myers is about to jump in my ear and say, don't count your chickens. I understand, but you take good results where you find them in a situation like this. And so far, the integrity of these big trees, these 200-foot trees, Chad, so far, I've been seeing some separation in them, not the palms. You know what I'm talking about, these other old growth trees. They've been splitting, but they haven't failed yet. They haven't collapsed yet. And if they can make it through this phase, maybe we'll get lucky here. But I have to tell you, Ed Lavender is a pro, as you know, Chad. He's been in a lot of these. I've been in many, but less than he, to be sure, and you, to be sure. But there is something unique about what we're getting hit with right now. Maybe you can put some words and some science to it for us.
Well, the only word I have, Chris, is eye wall. You are in the northern eye wall. You are going to, within the next 10, 15 minutes, be inside the eye. You may be able to look up and see the sky with not a cloud in it, and then be waiting for another hour or 20 minutes and get the wind from the other direction. And that's many times where a lot of the damage comes from, because the trees have already bent one way, and then all of a sudden they have to bend the other way as well. This is as bad as this storm has been truly in America. This is what the people of Sugar Land, this is what the people of Cudjoe Key, this is what the people of Big Coppet, Big Pine this morning, this is what they felt as this storm went straight over the lower Keys. It stayed offshore. It gained a little strength, but not much. And then it made landfall at Marco Island about 30 minutes ago. The eye wall doing 130 miles per hour when it hit Marco. And I bet you just had 130. Nothing to boast about, but that storm is still very strong, not losing any intensity really whatsoever.
So then it just comes down to duration. Now tell me this, when does the storm surge component, and what do we look for there?
The storm surge comes in after the center of the eye moves by, and the bubble of water moves under the eye itself and pushes onto land. Now, this is opposite of what we expect when an eye makes landfall on an east coast. This is a west coast. So the west coast now has the no water on the north and the water slam storm surge on the south side of the eye. Water's been pulled out of Tampa Bay, pulled out of Port Charlotte, and all the like up to the north. And in 20 minutes, when the eye goes by you, the eye wall, you're going to get eye, and then you're going to get the other side that Marco Island is already getting. Marco getting the storm surge flooding, and we are seeing that flash flood emergency for Marco Island proper. 10 to 15 foot surge on top of places that were completely dry. Honestly, the ocean bottom was exposed. 4 feet or so, the ocean bottom was exposed. You could see this. You could see the sand. You could see the fish. You could see the coral. You could see the sponge. And now, all of a sudden, that's going to be covered up with 10 to 15 feet of water. Chris, I am seeing you. Can you hear me, and can you go?
Oh, no, I have you. I was just testing out these hurricane specs that you told me not to waste the money on. You were right. So, Chad, what do we do when that storm surge comes in? What's the best way to help? What is going to be the list of immediate needs for the people there? And, you know, God willing, they can hear us. You know, we're running on battery power here. The hotel's out. All the lights are out in the surrounding area. In fact, I don't see anything lit up. They had kept the lights on here. I don't see them anymore. For people who are there and hopefully hunkered down. Go ahead.
What happens here on Marco and likely other